Hey folks, this is Gabe at Security Baron, and Nest continues to add components to its smart ecosystem. But let's take an updated look at its home security system, Nest Secure. In today's review of the Nest Secure home security system, we're going to go over some pros and cons, the system components, the feature set, the installation process, the mobile app experience, before answering some frequently asked questions and giving you a recap on who we think this device is for. If you want to get all the details on the Nest Secure, check out my comprehensive written review at securitybaron.com. There, you'll not only find the review of the Nest Secure home security system, but comparisons with other home security systems and tips and guides on what all to include when building out your Nest smart ecosystem. Once again, this can all be found at securitybaron.com. Let's kick off today's review of the Nest Secure home security system by going over some pros and cons, beginning with the pros. Now, right off the bat, I have to say that I had my Nest Secure installed in less than 10 minutes. It's a really easy installation process. You just need the mobile app downloaded to your mobile device, and from there you're going to scan a few QR codes. You can even do it manually, set this thing up, and be ready to go. Really simple. On top of that, everything has a function, and I mean it has a lot of functionality for quite a minimalist system. If you note here, we have three things, but we have multiple uses. The Nest Guard is not only the hub for your entire home security system, but it also serves as your keypad. It also serves as a motion detector. It also is a siren, alarm. It can be nice and shrill, making sure that someone inside your home does not want to be there any longer. That goes also for the Nest Detect. The Nest Detect is an entry sensor for your window and your door, but it's also a motion detector. It's also a nightlight, helping guide you to the restroom around midnight. On top of all of that, it really goes well into the rest of your Nest ecosystem. So the Nest Secure is just one part of a lot of different devices that can help maintain your home's peace and security. All of those are going to be under the same roof in your Google Nest app. Now, when it comes to cons with the Nest Secure, I have to state that the major con, the primary con that I see is the fact that it costs $400 just to get started with the system. So without any professional monitoring or anything added to the rest of it, you're gonna have a $400 outlay just to begin with your Nest Secure home security system. Well, hold on. I hope you're enjoying today's updated look at the Nest Secure home security system. If you want to be kept up to date on the newest in smart home security, Bluetooth trackers, cybersecurity, and more, subscribe to our channel, Security Baron. We're dropping new content weekly. All right, let's get back to the video. Now that we've gone over the pros and cons with the Nest Secure home security system, let's talk about the system components. Now, when you pay that $400, you're going to get the Nest Guard, you're going to get 2 Nest Detects, and you're going to get 2 Nest Tags. Now let's talk about what you actually get in, because there's actually a ton of functionality with just these few pieces. Now with your Nest Guard, you're getting not only your hub, but you're also getting a Google Assistant enabled device with the keypad, with the ability to detect motion, with the ability to serve as a siren, an alarm system for your home. That all comes in the Nest Guard. With your Nest Detects, you're getting entry sensors, so you can put this on your window, you can put it on your door. It also serves as a motion detector. It also serves as a night light. So you're really getting flexibility from this system. Now, one quick note is that when you do have it on a window, it won't serve as a motion detector because it doesn't want to be detecting all that motion from outside. And finally, with your Nest Tags, you have the ability to arm and disarm your system. Now, what's great about the Nest Secure home security system is that it is expandable. If you have more doors and windows, you can add more Nest Detects. And if you have more people inside of your home, you can add more Nest Tags. So everyone has a nice little fob for arming and disarming the system. And on top of that, Nest, just generally speaking, is expandable with a number of different cameras and sensors, doorbells and thermostats to help you have a really well-rounded out home security apparatus. Now that we've gone over the pros and cons and the system components for your Nest Secure home security system, let's jump into its feature set, beginning with that all-important professional monitoring. Now, professional monitoring is that team of experts 24/7, 365 watching over your home to make sure things are okay. Now, with Nest, you have a couple of options. You can go monthly, or you can sign a 3-year commitment for your professional monitoring for that team of people watching over your home. Now, if you go monthly, it's $29 a month, and if you go for that 3-year commitment is going to be down to $19 a month. And I do want to point out that this is actually run through Nest's deal with Brink's Home Security. Brink's, of course, well-known, super established company in this arena, and that is who Nest has partnered with to give you professional monitoring. And if neither of these options is for you, you can actually self-monitor yourself with the Nest Secure Home Security System. When it comes to arming and disarming your Nest Secure Home Security System, it's super easy and you have multiple options. You can, of course, arm and disarm in the mobile application from your mobile device. You can arm with the keypad alone using your PIN number, so you can actually just push the button, arm the system, and then you can put in the passcode on the keypad to disarm it. You can use the Nest tag as a key fob to arm and disarm the system, and you can use Google Assistant to arm and disarm it just using your voice. Now, with these arming and disarming methods, you need to talk about the functionality of the arming and disarming. Now, with Nest Secure, you have your disarmed mode, your home mode, and your away mode. Now, your home mode is your system basically at a lighter level. In that sense, it's not really looking for things going on inside of the home because it recognizes that you're there. You don't really have to be worried about what's happening inside. It's really more protecting you from people trying to get inside, whereas your away mode makes everything on high alert no matter what. So it's looking to see if anything's going on inside of the home, anything going on outside of the home, and that's where the utility lies in that sense. Now, beyond just having that arming and disarming, it's nice to have some flexibility there, some functionality, like Remind Me alerts. This essentially reminds you when you leave your home that, hey, you should probably set up your system. It can even remind you to turn off your system when you get home. So just generally speaking, you get a lot of flexibility and functionality with elements like that in the Nest Secure Home Security System. Now, what about when it comes to sharing access with family and guests? Well, this is where you can really kind of dial things in with the Nest Secure Home Security System. For example, I may have a dog walker that needs to come to the house every Monday, Wednesday, Friday between 7 and 7 p.m. Well, I can set their Nest tag to only work at those times under a guest profile. So I can have the dog walker, they can come in during those times, but any other time they will be denied access to the home with their Nest tag. And then you can also go ahead and set up people within your actual family. And that gives them full control of your home security system, so they can actually make their own guests and things of that nature as well. What I really like about the Nest Secure is that you're able to customize it to your needs. And I don't just mean broadly, I mean individually with each component. For example, I can decide with my Nest Guard how much time I'd like to leave myself when I leave the house. So I can give myself 30 seconds or I can give myself 5 minutes. I can also go ahead and decide on what type of motion sensitivity. These are all elements of the Nest Guard, which is in itself a multi-use device that I can customize. And when it comes to my Nest Detect, I also get that flexibility. I can decide, you know what, I don't want this to detect small dogs. If I have a small dog under 40 pounds, I want it to let it go. I want it to activate as a nightlight. There are just a number of different elements of the Nest Detect. I can decide to really dial in to what works for me and my family. Finally, when it comes to customer support, you actually have a number of options with Nest. You can call them up, you can chat with them online, send them an email, even chat through everyone's favorite medium, Twitter. Now, of course, I personally like to just go through their FAQ, their support pages. The support pages are really, let's say, robust. You can really find a lot of information and find what you need in terms of making sure your Nest Secure is living up to your expectations. Now that we've gone over the features, let's talk about the installation process with your Nest Secure Home Security System, and it's incredibly straightforward and easy. You're going to take out your Nest Guard, plug it in, and while it's charging up, you're going to want to make sure that your mobile application is downloaded to your device. Now from there, it's going to walk you through the entire setup. And basically, each element, beginning with your Nest Guard, is scanning the QR code, making sure it's placed in the right position. It'll walk you through a test to make sure it's working, and then you move on to the next device. So it'll be the same with your Nest Detect. You'll scan the QR code, make sure you place it in the right place with that peel and stick, which is really easy, and then you'll be ready to go, and you'll finally round it out with your Nest tag. Once again, scanning this QR code and you're set. The entire process took me less than 10 minutes. Now that we've got it installed, let's talk about the mobile application for the Nest Home Security System, the Nest app, and people seem to be enjoying their experiences. It has a 4.3 out of 5-star rating in the Google Play Store and a 4.7 out of 5-star rating in the Apple App Store, and that's with over 500,000 reviews. So let's go ahead and check it out on my iPhone 7 Plus. Here I am checking out the Nest Secure Home Security System on the Nest mobile application. So you can see here already from the front, I'm at home, how, cold, or actually I would say warm it is for January. The cloudiness, you can see me on the Nest IQ Indoor, but you can also see at the bottom a couple elements of my home security apparatus. So let's jump right into the guard. So you can see here that the alarm is off. Now if I tap on that middle icon, I can actually turn it to home. And if I tapped again, I can turn it to away. And you can hear now it says you have 1 minute to exit, and this would turn on every element of my home security system. So if I had any motion was detected, anyone walked into the house, everything would be turned on with this security setting. So let's go ahead and make sure that turns off. Now, if you note, it's going back to being a black background. So I like that there's this visual cue in terms of the colors utilized in order to make sure that you can see, hey, your system is armed, so make sure you know what's going on. Let's go ahead and jump into the history, because I like the fact that we can go ahead and look at all the events. So let's just look at today. So today, you can see that I turned it off. I turned it on when the Nest Guard saw motion. You can even see when I put in the wrong passcode, when the Nest Guard itself saw motion, when the front door saw motion. And you can just go on, see when the front door was opened and closed, various elements. When the Nest Guard was using backup battery, I moved it around. There's just a lot of things you can see every single part of the day in terms of people entering and leaving. Those are all accessible right there in your security history. And this is your device, your home. You should know exactly what's happening. Now let's go really into our settings. Now here you can see home and away assist. And there are a lot of elements to this in terms of setting up how do you want your system to look when you're set it as a home, a guarding and armed, or versus away home and guarding. And so there's just various things you can point out, and you can even get notifications. Now the notifications can remind you to turn off the alarm when you get home or set the alarm when you leave. There are elements of geofencing essentially that can ensure that you're reminded to do those things. You can even adjust the security levels. Now this is pretty fun. What this means is, I can decide, hey, I only want to arm my system with a passcode. So if there's no passcode, I can just arm it very quickly, willy-nilly. But you may, accidentally be arming it, or maybe you actually want someone to have the passcode in order to turn it on, so that people just can't walk out of the house, turn on the away mode, and kind of mess with you. So I think that's a really fun element. You can even decide on what level of motion sensitivity you'd like, which is useful. For example, if you have a small dog, as it says here, under 40 pounds, you can actually try to prevent false alarms by setting up that reduced motion sensitivity, because otherwise anything that walks in front of your motion detector is going to set it off. So if you have a dog that can stay at home all day, maybe this is something you want to think about. Beyond that, you can actually look at your entry countdown. So in terms of how long you'll have to turn off the alarm after it detects activity. So maybe you walk in the house and you're like, oh, I need to make sure I have some time to turn this off. If I didn't do it on my mobile application before I walked in the door. So you can set that at 1 minute. That seems pretty reasonable. But you can even set it as high as 2 minutes or 3 minutes. Maybe you kind of person who comes in the house and immediately needs to drink some water or sit down for a second, you have some time. And you can even have a leaving countdown. So this is basically how much time you have to leave to set the alarm. I know some people that might set this at 5 minutes because they always forget something when they walk out the door. Now you can also go and decide on your motion detection settings. Do you want the motion detection to be on, for example, for the Nest Detect devices? So I have, my Nest Detect set up here, because one thing to note is that it's not only an entry sensor, but it also detects motion, and you can turn that on and off. Then you have, of course, glass break detection. So this is basically the device believing that it's hearing glass breaking. So maybe someone's broken your window and they're trying to get in. So once it hears what it believes to be glass breaking, it will also sound, which is a really useful element. A lot of times with devices, you have to buy that thing separately, but with the Nest Secure and the Nest Guard, which is the hub, keypad, motion detector, and sensor, that actually comes built in. So let's go and look at individual devices, which is something you can do with the Nest Secure system. So I can actually go look at my Nest Detect. And I can actually look at the device itself. For example, I can decide to turn on Pathlight. Now, Pathlight allows for you to basically have a little bit of a motion detection nightlight. So if you're walking by, it's dark outside, it'll actually be like, oh, hey, here, you're here. Let's help you. Let's guide the way. If you have guests, especially, I feel like I can get around my house pretty easily, but other people, they may be, useful for them to have that element. You can even work with your Nest tag and decide, you're going to transfer the Nest tag, give it to someone else. You have some solid options there. Now, of course, you have professional monitoring, cellular backup, and then let's go ahead and check out the family and guest mode. So here you can see here that I'm the owner. I have access to everything in my home, but I've also given King home entry. So here the passcode is available, and I can even change the schedule for this individual. So this individual now can basically come in at any point, any time, but I can actually say, what? The passcode for this individual can only be used Monday through Thursday. Maybe Friday I work from home, and maybe Saturday and Sunday, this person's not gonna ever come. So I don't want them to have access to the house with their passcode on those dates. So that's a really useful element, especially for someone like a dog walker, Maybe your dog walker is your friend, someone you trust, but maybe you're someone just from a company and you don't want them to have access using their passcode at any point whenever. So now you're saying, okay, they can come in Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. They have the access to the passcode. They can get in, it's fine. You can even set an expiration. So the person can actually not get access beyond a certain point. This may be useful for someone who has an Airbnb or things of that nature. So you can see you get a lot of flexibility. A lot can be done with your Nest Secure home security system. Now I want to answer some frequently asked questions regarding the Nest Secure home security system, beginning with our first question: what is the Google Nest Secure? Well, Nest Secure is a security system owned by Google Nest that can also comprise of professional monitoring service. It generally comes with a Nest Guard serving as a hub, 2 Nest Detects that serve as motion detectors and entry sensors, and 2 Nest Tags which serve as key fobs. The second question is, does Nest Secure have a monthly fee? And the answer is, it can have a monthly fee. If you would like to do a monthly professional monitoring service, it's going to be $29 a month. However, you can also self-monitor, in which case there is no monthly fee associated with Nest Secure. The final question is, can Nest Secure call the police? And the answer is yes, Nest Secure can call the police on your behalf in the case of an emergency, as long as you have professional monitoring services attached. All right, we've come a long way with our updated review of the Nest Secure home security system. And you want to know, Gabe, exactly who is this device made for? And it's made for the person who wants an easy installation experience. I had mine up and running in just a few minutes, but what you really get out of it, and for who this might really be for, is a person who just wants minimal components without any limited functionality, because the Nest Guard has so many functions. The Nest Detect has so many functions. It's motion sensor and entry sensor. The Guard is alarm and hub, keypad, and motion detector. So you're really getting a lot out of the system. Now, it also works in terms of professional monitoring flexibility. You can pay $29 a month and decide each month how much longer you want to go along with the Brinks professional monitoring service, or you can decide, you know what, I want to do a 3-year commitment, get that down to $19, know that Brinks has my back for the next 36 months. On top of that, it might be for the person who is already invested in the Nest ecosystem, the person who already has a Nest thermostat or a Nest doorbell and really wants to bring all of the elements of their smart home ecosystem and smart home security apparatus under the same umbrella. So that's our look at the Nest Secure home security system. Now, if you have any questions or like to leave us a comment, please drop one below. We'd love to hear from you. And if you appreciated today's video, give us a like and hit that subscribe button. As always, this is Gabe, Security Baron. Be secure.